Have you ever noticed how some people stay quiet in groups? Not awkward, not shy, just silent, watching, listening. And somehow they understand everything that's going on. Here's the psychology behind people who stay quiet in groups, and why it says a lot more about them than you think. Most people assume silence means insecurity, but psychology says the opposite is often true. Let's break it down. They process before they speak. Quiet people don't react instantly. They observe first. They read facial expressions, tone shifts, body language. This is linked to high cognitive processing, HIE, and reflective thinking. Their brain is busy connecting dots instead of competing for attention. While others speak to be heard, they speak to be accurate. That pause you notice, that's not hesitation, that's depth. They're highly self-aware. People who stay quiet in groups often score high in self-awareness. They know what they think, they know what they feel, and because of that, they don't feel the need to constantly externalize it. Psychology calls this internal validation. They don't need group approval to feel real. Talking less is their way of staying aligned with themselves, not losing their identity in the noise. They're sensitive to social energy. Quiet people feel the room, not metaphorically, neurologically. Many have high emotional intelligence and sensory sensitivity. They subconsciously absorb emotions, tensions, and unspoken dynamics. That's why group settings can feel draining, not because they dislike people, but because their brain is processing everyone at once. Silence becomes a form of self-protection. They hate meaningless conversation. Small talk feels exhausting to them, not boring, empty. Psychology links this to depth-oriented personalities. They prefer conversations with substance, purpose, or emotional honesty. So when a group conversation stays surface level, they don't force themselves to participate. They'd rather stay quiet than say something that doesn't feel real. They've learned that silence gives power. Quiet people notice something early in life. The person who speaks less is listened to more. This connects to asocial dominance theory. In many situations, restraint signals confidence. When they finally speak, people lean in. Because silence builds weight. They don't interrupt. They don't overshare. They choose their moment. They're independent thinkers. Quiet people aren't easily influenced by group opinions. They question before agreeing. This trait is tied to low social conformity and high autonomy. They don't speak just to blend in. If they disagree, they'll stay silent rather than fake agreement. If they agree, they don't need to announce it. Their mind stays independent, even in a crowd. Here's the important part. Being quiet in groups doesn't mean you're invisible. It means you're selective. It means your brain is wired for depth, awareness, and emotional precision. In a world that rewards noise, silence becomes misunderstood. But psychology is clear. Many quiet people aren't behind the conversation. They're above it. If this video felt a little too familiar, that's no coincidence. You see deeply, even when you don't always speak it out loud. And that's a strength. If you like psychology that invites reflection, subscribe for what's coming next. In the next video, we look at the mind of someone who overthinks every text, rereading messages, analyzing every word, pausing before you press send. If that sounds like you, click the next video. I'll see you there.